Dowds was hoping this Harlem storefront on Frederick Douglass Boulevard would be her new cannabis dispensary.
We were trying to get all our ducks in a row and process the paperwork.
But navigating the licensing process with the State Office of Cannabis Management, OCM, has left her empty-handed.
It's been more than difficult. We can't get responses on the phone, so it's just one big circle of being dragged along.
A new report on OCM Friday found 90% of dispensary applicants in New York failed to get licenses.
We haven't gotten any sort of timeline on when our application might be reviewed.
Iris Liddell submitted her application in November, and all that time has been paying rent on her empty Brooklyn storefront, waiting for it to be approved.
We're making sure that all along the way, even as the goalposts change and the regulations and the rules were changing, we can still adapt and meet the needs that were asked of us.
The report issued by Governor Hochul found the state cannabis agency bungled its rollout of the legal market, in part due to inexperienced leadership.
Everything breaks at the seams, and you feel like you're losing belief. Well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong when it all falls apart and goes wrong. When you feel let down and so lost, and it feels like you can't hold on. Well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong, 'cause sometimes things go wrong, and one day everything's gone, but you can make it out and move on. So damn it, you just gotta stay strong.
Well, I keep saying this, and, you know, it may fall on deaf ears, but the cannabis law here in New York has been an utter terrible failure. And the thing is that you got to laugh to the situation, because you have all these people that are saying, yeah, we're going to make it work, it's going to be fine, you know, and all that. But the thing about it is, you have lawsuits still pending. You have people that haven't gotten licensing yet, that they're not even licensing enough. There are those who are being attacked in their own businesses, thinking that they're doing a legal business, but you know they're not. And we got a story on that coming. We're working on, and then you have all the illegal shops out there, which they said, well, you know, we're going to take care. You know, Governor Hochul, Mary Adams said, we're going to send the police out there and get them out. You get 20 stores, but you know you have a couple thousand of them out there, and it's not only smoke shops, it's bodegas as well. This is being sold wherever they can sell it. You know, they'll try to chastise and say, like, yeah, look, we're going to have to find the landlords. We're going to find whatever we can just to stop them. It says you're not going to stop them. There is money out there. There is money that's being handed out hand over fist in the illegal trade. Perfect example is the story we brought up in Brooklyn, that they found that distribution center hidden by accident. And we'll tell you, by accident, because they were just following up on a possible burglary, and they come across this entire warehouse full of illegal gummies and cannabis and vape pens, untaxed cigarette, and many other things. And this was a hub. How many of these hubs are in New York? It's not just one. You know, it's not just one. It's a lot of them are out there. You know, this is being funneled into many different states, you know, from places like Maine, from Chinese-owned farms, grow farms, illegal ones, that they're growing them out there, shipping them throughout, you know, New York, California, Florida, wherever they can send them to. And the money goes back where, you know, what are they using the money for? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, you know. But recently, and this is right during our move, this was right back when we moved back in May, the head of the, the chief of the Office of Cannabis Management has resigned. Yes, that's right, folks. Because of this utter failure, the head has decided to just resign, period. And we're going to read this from the city. New York cannabis chief resigns after criticism from Hochul. The head of the state of cannabis agency resigned following weeks of public turmoil between the agency and Governor Kathy Hochul's office. I have been reluctant to write this email due to the deep connection and commitment I've had to this work and to this team, and while I plan to serve out the remainder of my term, I no longer have confidence in my ability to do the job and lead this team effectively under current circumstances, Chris Alexander wrote in an email obtained by the city. Hochul appointed Alexander to the position in September 2021 as the inaugural head of the Office of Cannabis Management, or OCM. I am grateful for Chris Alexander's work, first in the developing and securing of the passage of the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act, and then launching the Office of Cannabis Management, Hochul said in a statement to the city. And the thing is, they try to push these things on there, but, people have warned them. They said it's not going to work. It's not going to solve the issues. There's been failures across the board throughout the country on there. They're not making the billions that they expected. They might make $1 million here, $1 million there, but it's not going to pay for things. It's not. It's not at all. As OCM transitions into a next phase, we look forward to the continuing world building the strongest and most equitable industry in the nation. Equitable, communism. The statement continued. The Office of Cannabis Management did not immediately respond to the request for comment. In January, Hochul called the rollout of a legal market a disaster and ordered a 30-day review of the agency by the Office of General Services. Earlier this month, she released a report following the review that criticized the inexperienced leadership of the Office of Cannabis Management. She's throwing her own people under the bus and pointed to the ineffectiveness in the licensing process, as well as sparse service for applicants awaiting to determine on their licenses. No, there was a lot of racism in there as far as, handing out the licenses. There were veterans that were waiting to have it, and they were supposed to be part of that, and they weren't, and they were suing to the situation. There's still, I think, 4 or 5 open lawsuits still pending to this situation. In a press conference, Hochul said it was time for the agency to take a new direction, noting that Alexander would step down at the end of his term in September. As Hochul announced the news, Alexander was still presiding over the Cannabis Control Board meeting in Albany. During the public comments part of the meeting, some came to his defense as the news broke. Chris, I don't want you to step down. Nobody wants you to step down. Matthew Robinson, a retail license, told meeting attendees, we support you 100%. He said to applause. 2 weeks later, Alexander resigned, saying it's been an honor in his lifetime to lead the group of the most dedicated public servants I've ever encountered, in his email. There's more to this article, so I take a moment and go ahead and go read it. A lot more politics to this situation, but fronting within the politics itself, when it comes to cannabis, okay, and I'm going to say this straight out, as I've always said, I'm in my late 50s. I grew up during a time period when cannabis was very heavy. There were those around in my family that smoked it. That same cannabis that was around me is not the same cannabis that's being offered today. Today, the ones that are out there are very dangerous, and I'll tell you why. In the illegal trade, we don't know where it's coming from. And you may say to yourself, well, maybe that is an issue to don't buy from the illegal shops. I say, well, here's the situation. The illegal shops are much cheaper and don't pay a tax, versus where you have to pay a tax and pay whatever charge that the legal ones do. And it happens to be a pretty hefty charge. But even the legitimate ones, you have to ask yourself the potency. What's in them? because basically a lot of these grow places, they add certain things to them. Now, the illegal trade, you have to worry about fentanyl. You have to worry about tranquilizers. You have to worry about a lot of stuff that's been going on there that's damaging. Plus, the strength level of this version of cannabis, you've been seeing more hospitalizations. You said, well, I haven't heard that. I said, it's out there. The word's out there. Emergency room doctors have been saying they've been seeing an increase. And since places where it's legitimate, people are not afraid to say, well, yeah, I was smoking a joint. And you get these people that have been violently vomiting or having illnesses to themselves, especially a lot of young people. And that's the thing about it is, if you're young, if you're under 30, don't be smoking this stuff. You shouldn't be using it. It does. There have been a lot of research out there just recently that have been working on for many years now, some in decades, that they're realizing that anyone under 30, the brain is still developing. And there are issues that have come across to that. Certain mysterious illnesses, and I'm not talking prior to COVID. I'm not talking about what happened during COVID. I'm not getting into that situation. You want to put blame on that. That's a different situation. But what has been going on is that you've had developmental issues, aggression situations, rapid vomit, unusual ailments, people getting sick for no reason whatsoever. And this has been happening for quite some time. If you're an adult over 30, you want to grow your own, that's your business. That's your business. But understand, if you're out there buying the stuff, wonder what you're putting in yourself. People say, well, you shouldn't be drinking soda. You don't know what you're putting in your body. It could be dangerous on there. You have all these situations. But same thing with cigarettes. Meanwhile, you're smoking. You're putting it into your body. But everybody has a problem with cigarettes, cigars, any tobacco. But they got no problem with cannabis. And they say, well, because it's grown in the ground, so is tobacco. So is tobacco. So tell me in the comments below your thoughts about this. Is this the beginning of the end of the Office of Cannabis Management, or are they just going to pass it on to someone else? The fall will continue on because, literally, this law should go away. Now, medical, I have no problem with, for medicinal purposes, legitimate purposes, cancer and stuff like that. Anything else, you don't need it. You don't need it at all. So, comment, like, share this video, and don't forget, hit that subscription button, and hopefully I've earned your subscription. So, until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.